welcome to the show with me, Gillian Gottsell. Today, my guest is Pete Wood, the CEO of CoinBurp, or CoinBurp, as I like to call it. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jill.
Okay, so this is an important video that I wanted to make, and I have to say two things at the very start. First of all, this is not financial advice at all. We're not giving anyone financial advice. We're just talking about something that really knocked me for 7 recently. And secondly, you're the CEO of a company that's raising money, and I'm working for you guys. So again, this is not financial advice. But the reason why I want to talk to you was that I was applying, I've been the last 2.5 years, you're in the crypto space, I've been in the crypto space the last 2.5 years, and I was applying crypto interpretation to what you were doing. And it's totally different. So can I start from the very beginning? Can you tell me a little bit about CoinBurp and what it is? Yeah,
sure. So CoinBurp is a super easy cryptocurrency trading platform. We're targeting low confidence users, but it's not to say we would turn away more confident users, but we feel there's an untapped market of retail investors who have struggled to get into this space. So yeah, we're trying to make it super fun, easy and friendly for people to buy their first crypto.
I mean, it is, the UX is so easy. It's like click and point and play. It's not like, you know, when you go onto Coinbase or one of the other exchanges, there's all these figures and these things, you know, oh, what am I doing here? And it's like quite scary about which bits you're gonna do. It's almost like child's play. It's cartoon driven. It's big, huge icons. And it's like, click here. So you can't make a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny, the amount of time, the amount of brainstorms and meetings we had to come to a super slick user interface like we have there. We put tons of effort and time into building something that we hope customers find very easy to use.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely is. I mean, go and look, it's coinburp.com, so that's cool. .com, right. Yes. .com. Okay, so now your company, you've had a brokerage before, Bitcoin's how you got into this space. You have a very successful company. You're turning over, like, was it 9 million with 3 million profit? So why does a profitable company need to raise funds?
I mean, I have huge ambitions. I do believe I will get there eventually, but it depends on how fast I want to get there. I want people to be on part of this journey. I want the investment to come in earlier. For me to get to where I want to get, we need some investment at the start, especially for the marketing, to get our name out there. It's just the number one issue for new products. It's about people knowing your brand and getting used to it. But where I want to be, I need to get there as fast as possible, and that means bringing some investment externally. Okay, so how much of a company are you selling? So we have a target on crowdcube.com/CoinBurp. If you have a look at that, we've currently raised just over 200k. The target on there is 300,000, but we've had so much interest recently. We're still in a private phase where only people that we know personally we can send the link to invest. We had so much interest that 300k we may surpass 300k and decide to give up additional equity in the company, but we're not quite there yet, and we're still having discussions. Okay, so I understand very clearly, and this is where I want to sort of really get down to the meat of the matter here. So you're actually giving away shares, you're giving equity in the company. People investing are going to own a piece of your company. Okay, so it's not tokens, it's not like things that could or come or go. So you're a real life regulated company that files its accounts in London, and people can buy into it. Like, I mean, this is like traditional investment, but you're in the crypto space. It's a little bit different. So you're selling 1.9%, I think, of the company. How much is each share worth? So the company valuation is 15 million. So depending on how much money you put in, it equates to a certain proportion. So it's difficult to say that a share would be £10 or £15. It's more to do with how much you invest against the valuation of the company. So we've got a static number, 15 million is the valuation. Depending on where you come in, it can be as little as £10. You can invest quite high amounts if you want to invest a large amount. But yeah, depending on that, you get a different proportion of the company. But it's all based around the 15 million valuation. Okay, and this is unusual too as well. It's part of this whole new way of crowdfunding, that people can actually buy equity, and the starting point being £10 sterling is very small. That's pocket money. That's you could steal it from your child, you know. Not for bad opinion, you do, but it's quite nice, right? And the nice thing about it is these are called Class B shares, am I right? So although you own part of the company, you have no voting rights. You have no say in the company. You have just invested in the company, and you have a share allocation as per how much money you put in. Well, actually, we're actually going to give Class A shares. So you're going to actually be on the same share structure as founders. So on the
I
exact
got it
same
wrong there.
level.
So it's Class
Yeah,
A
it's
shares.
actually an improvement.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
interesting. So you actually have got, is that unusual? Would that be?
It is very unusual. The reason we done it this way, and we did have the option of doing Class A and Class B, where usually Class B means you don't have the voting rights, you don't have a say in the direction the company's going. But I think to truly bring people on board with our vision and our mission to bring crypto to the masses, it's only fair to bring them on the same or a level playing field as the founders. So if you
Wow.
come on board, you will gain from dividends if we decide to do dividends in the future. But yeah, you're on the same playing field.
Do you know something? You're actually answering all my questions the wrong way, but in a good way. Because I had understood there was Class B, there was no voting, but you're actually going to get the Class A shares. So when people invest, and will they get a certificate? Will there be a legal document comes out? So like the real world, and you can put it on your wall or put it in your safe. And if you lose your share cert, you'll still be recorded, presumably in the legal office. So it's a very safe thing in that sense. Now you're a private company, so I've got I've got my shares invested in you. But to get the money out, how can I redeem my investment?
There's only two ways to get some of the money out. We either decide at some point in the business that we're doing so successful that we want to pay some dividends out. So we have to pay the same proportion of dividends to everyone, whether it's me taking out, whether it's an investor who's invested £10, we have to pay some dividends out. The other option, which is the one that everyone's after, is the sell-off. So the 3 to 5 years, whatever it may be, when a company comes knocking at your door and comes with a big fat check and wants to buy your company out, then that's when most companies see the big returns, or so most investors see the big returns on their investment.
Wow. So that's really interesting. So they're Class A shares. And one of the things I was going to say, because it says when you have to go on, and I'm talking about the Crowdcube experience too as well, it has to check that you're not a totally dopey investor like I was yesterday before I went through all this. And it said, do you expect dividends? And the actual answer is normally no. Startups do not normally give dividends, but you're not ruling that out.
Definitely not ruling it out. I'm definitely not committing to it either. No. We have to play it by ear. It depends. I mean, I want to grow this company as fast and strong and get to the milestones that we've put down in our business plan on our roadmap. And sometimes that means none of us get payout and we just stay committed and reinvest the money that we've made. But there are situations potentially in the future where we decide we want to pay dividends, but it's not the norm. It's not the norm.
No,
but there is always a possibility.
Two things you've said to me actually three things. You're in the crypto business and you're an exchange, buying and selling crypto. Actually, there's four things. One, you're making it easy, which is very unusual, right? Secondly, you're raising money through a regulated form of finance. So it's all very much above board. It's not these tokens and all this FOMO stuff. Thirdly, you're offering Class A shares, so there's a voting rights associated with the shares. And fourthly, you're not ruling out dividends, because again, normally startups don't normally do this. You're saying, you're not promising, of course, but you're saying there might be a point where you might do that. And because they're all Class A, everybody will get the same. Wow, okay. So with the Crowdcube, I logged on the other day, and you have to provide your KYC, which is know your customer, which is basically identification and proof of address. Upload it upline. Is there, in the Crowdcube system, there's a human being looking at that, is there, or it's automated? It's going to confirm that.
I'm not sure how they do it. I mean, as a regular, in terms of the process of checking the ID and proof of address, I know that as a regulated company, regulated by the FCA in the UK, if they're dealing with investments, they have to do some form of KYC with or know your customer controls. But in terms of whether it's a robot or manual process by Crowdcube, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay, but it's something the financial regulator insists that it's done, so it's not funny money coming into the system. I was simply, there's a whole bunch of correct things that have to go through the questionnaire, and one of them says, can you badger the company to buy back your shares at any point? That is not the case, obviously, because as you explained, there's normally an event that triggers the buyback. It could be an exit or a merger or something like that. Another interesting point too as well, again, this is me with my blockchain crypto hat on. It was a private sale. I'm going, so where are the discounts? Because obviously when you're selling tokens, the private sales are all heavily discounted. But not in this case, because you can't, it's illegal. You can't do discounts just for early investors.
Yeah, as again, we're running through CrowdCube, they're regulated. It has to be in an equal playing field for every single investor. So we can't give we can't give any bonuses to us as the first 100 people that invest. You're going to get more shares than the following 100 people. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Everyone who invests, whether it's at the start or the end, get the same offer.
Okay, and what's nice too as well, what I do like about it is it's regulated, right? So it's a different ball game. You can't, there's no secondary market. You can't take your shares and go and sell them elsewhere. It's not a public company. There's not a token exchange. You can go and do that. But because it's regulated, well, companies can fail too as well. I mean, you could fail. You could in the morning turn around and go belly up, go CoinBurp, and that would be the end of all our investments. But it might not. And certainly, if you look at it, let's just say you had a sum of money that, and again, you only invest that which you can afford to lose, which is the golden rule of investing, whether it's your 10 or your 100 euros, whatever. But at the moment, people aren't getting money in bank accounts. You know, with fiat, there's minus figures. I was told recently to take some money out of my credit union because the credit union was being charged negative interest on my money. So I had to move someplace else. So we live in a very weird world. So although you can't, you know, it's only projections, there's not no guarantees or anything like that. But if everything goes according to plan, the return should be significantly more, well, than zero. That's hardly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of really key differentiations. I think that what we have on offer than a lot of other companies have on offer. The very first thing to note, which I probably should have said at the start of the video, is that it's not only an investment into CoinBurp, you also invest into BitBroker, the company which I formed in 2014, done over 120 million turnover, I think by now, £3 million in profit. So you're actually investing in a top level holding company called BitBurp, which is the combination of both BitBroker and CoinBurp. So BitBroker is already a successful, proven track record company operating in the crypto space, and then you've got this new great concept of the trading platform of CoinBurp. So you benefit from both, and very few people in this space, in the crypto space, that's only been around 10 years, 10, 11 years from when Bitcoin was first formed, can say that they've been dealing for 5 years. I've been in the business for half the time it's ever existed. There's very few of me around, and not only that, I have a track record of building a successful company with only £1,000. I mean, I didn't start with much. I'm an entrepreneur from the ground up, and I've got to this point so far, and I hope people believe in my ambition and my drive and where I look to take the company to.
Well, thank you very much. As I say, the thing that it was so funny, we were at loggerheads, and I'm going, well, what's happening here? Where's the secondary market? Because you see, when you get into the token and the ICOs and the STOs and all this stuff, it's a whole different ball game. So now we're taking a crypto business that's successful and putting it into a regulated market. And the really nice thing that I really, really like is that the entry point is very little. Oftentimes, to invest in your blue chip, pretty much, you'd have to be an accredited investor. And now you're saying you can take a small amount of money if you want to, and you can put it, invest in your company. And you're asking people to come along on the journey with you.
Exactly. So as little as £10. We are targeting the retail market, so it'd be silly not to focus our fundraising on the retail market. It aligns very well with our goals. So yeah, that's what we're doing. As little as £10, and yeah, we hope a lot of people invest.
Wow. Well, I've already invested my £10. Disclosure. I know I'm last of the big spenders. I may go back and buy some more, but I'm looking forward to getting my cert. And when does all that happen? When does the sale finish? So what's the time scale?
So at this current date that we're recording, we've got about 8 days left in our private raise, and then it will go public on CrowdCube. And what that means is they will do the email marketing to their mailing lists. They're going to plaster our name all over the social medias, and the majority of companies in CrowdCube, they get most of their investment in the public phase of the raise. So we've only got 100k under 100k left in the kitty at the minute for the 300k target. Potentially, when it gets close, we might increase that. But my advice is, if you're interested, try and get in there early before everyone else snaps it up.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. And again, I want to stress, we are not giving any financial advice. I just wanted to have a conversation with you because I was getting everything back to front. arseways, as they say in Ireland. Totally. So I thought, if I am, and I spoke to some other friends in this business, and they were thinking along the same lines. I'm going, well, let's talk about this. So thank you so much for me. It's actually crystal clear now. It makes sense. And I wish you every success.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks very much, Jill, for giving me the chance.
Thank you very much indeed.